Many of you have probably already seen this video. It just popped up yesterday. Edmunds do their test where they drive these cars, internal combustion cars and EVs. It's like a head-to-head comparison. Drive them down their track and then they do a turn and they come back, and whoever gets back the fastest is the winner. But I still have to call out that I think Edmunds has a bit of bias against Tesla. They do, it's fair to say. Now, this video kind of illustrates my point, and it is frustrating a lot of Tesla fans. Listen, let's move away from all the Musk stuff and just focus on the cars themselves. For the purpose of this video, I think it's about time to call out some of these YouTubers because they are doing this intentionally. They have to know it. They have to know it. Or don't they know it? Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. The BMW M3 CS. Now, the vehicle tested in this video costs about $130,000 US. In Australia, it's way more expensive than that. I think it's around about 250,000 Australian dollars starting price before options. Yeah, so that's starting price here in Australia. It is cheaper to buy 3 Tesla Model 3 Performances. So the Tesla Model 3 Performance here in Australia is about 81,000 Australian dollars. So it's about 50,000 US dollars. You can buy 3 of them in Australia, 3 Tesla Model 3s, and still have change left over on the cost of a BMW M3 CS. And in many countries, if you buy a more expensive car, you have to pay things like luxury car tax. You got to pay extra fees. So all the taxes and everything involved would mean you'd probably have $20,000 to $30,000 left over after having bought 3 Tesla Model 3 Performances instead of a BMW M3 CS. So anyway, that's an option to consider. Now, in this race, you can see here that they compared the cars. The Tesla Model 3, it won, right? The Model 3 Performance was a bit quicker on this U-turn test. So driving down the track, doing the turn and coming back, it was a bit quicker than the M3 CS. And the temperature was quite hot. Apparently, it was about 38 degrees Celsius. That would have affected both cars, but it probably affected the BMW more. Internal combustion engines suffer more when it's hot, especially turbocharged cars. And well, to be honest, that's almost all performance cars now. About 9 out of 10 performance cars now are turbocharged. So they will be affected when it's hot. And that means, right, you're using these performance cars around a track, they're going to get hot because you're driving them around a track. So, you know, let's be honest, EVs are the future of sports cars. They will be way better at dealing with heat than internal combustion engine cars and much quicker as a result. So I think you're going to find that in normal driving, the Model 3 will beat an M3 CS in almost every situation, as you can see from this test. The crazy thing is, though, I think they rigged this test in two different ways to try and make the cars look more similar. One, they put the Tesla in track mode. Now, every Tesla owner knows if you put the car in track mode, it's not going to go very fast. 0 to 100, 0 to 62 miles an hour. Tesla detunes the cars. Track mode is for if you want to drive the car on track for an hour, right? You want to go around a track over and over and over. So Tesla detunes them so that you're not going to be killing the car within the space of, you know, going around a track 5 or 10 times. And Edmunds have to know that. Surely Edmunds know that. Now, I've got to say, Edmunds are not the only journalists, YouTubers at fault here. Carwell have done the same thing. Carwell, other big YouTube platforms, big media publications, they consistently do this. And I think it's intentional. I honestly do. I honestly think it's intentional. They put the cars in track mode. Now, they know it's got to make them slower. If you look at the tests on Carwell, if you look at the tests on Edmunds, for almost every other model of car, they know the right mode to put it in order to get the best drag strip performance. And they put it in that mode. For example, the BMW M3 CS was put in the correct drag mode, right, for this test. Carwell, same thing, right? And commenters in the comment sections for probably 2 years have been telling these video platforms, guys, if you're going to do a drag strip race, if you're going to do this kind of testing, put Teslas not in track mode because it's going to make them slower. But they ignore it. They ignore it. I mean, we're talking like hundreds of comments, hundreds of times they've been told this. In addition to that, Edmunds intentionally didn't launch the Tesla at the same time as the BMW. You go to the video, you tell me if you think they launched at the same time. It's worth pointing out, 0 to 100, the Tesla is much quicker than the BMW M3 CS under normal driving circumstances, right? But for some reason, the M3 CS crushed the Tesla Model 3, even though 0 to 100, the Tesla can do it in about probably about 2.8 seconds. The M3 CS crushed it off the line. So both drivers had to drive in the Tesla, and both of them launched the Tesla quite slowly, which is very bizarre. I mean, one of the advantages of an EV, you have a huge amount of power off the line. I think that was intentional. Might not have been, but I think it was. But regardless of this, the Tesla came back and with a higher top end speed overtook the BMW. Even around the corner, it looked like the Tesla was faster than the BMW M3 CS, which is the performance version of the BMW M3. Now, all of this to say is this: I still think a lot of these journalists, these media publications are biased against electric cars and try to rig the tests, if they can, to make it look like the internal combustion car is better than it actually is. I don't know why that is. Guys, what are your thoughts? Let's be honest. If this was just done once, then I would be sounding like a tin hat idiot. But it's not. This has happened so many times on so many different platforms consistently. They consistently try to make the Tesla. Here's another example, guys. If you don't believe me, they put winter tires on Teslas in these tests, right? Winter tires, and then the rivals will be on semi-slick race tires. I'm like, okay, so you're putting the Tesla on winter tires, and this is a fair comparison test? Really? Anyway, the point is this: EVs still usually win even with these handicaps. And I honestly think that this means performance cars generally are going to be almost always EVs. And I also think it means this: loud, noisy performance cars often aren't that quick. I think we're going to equate loud with slow. When you hear a loud car, a lot of noise coming out of that exhaust, you're going to think, oh, there's a slow car coming along. Won't matter what it is. It's going to be slower than the silent, fast electric car. That's the future, in my opinion. Hey guys, do you think I'm crazy saying this stuff? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Guys, when I was most recently in China, I was sitting in the bus, I believe, with another automotive journalist, actually a pretty big YouTuber. And at the same time, we both saw an article from BYD saying there's more discounts coming. There's in fact a really big discount revealed on one of the most popular BYD, in fact, the entire BYD range in Australia. Now, my friend, the journalist, he said, oh no, my buddy just bought this model a few days ago. So he's lost $4,000 now because the price has gone down by $4,000. You would think that this, is just the way it is, but customers aren't liking this. Some of them, at least. A few weeks ago in Thailand, there was a case where BYD was, sort of prosecuted. And the reason was this: customers of BYD are complaining. And this is not the first time this has happened. It's happened in China as well. Apparently, BYD are claiming that vehicle prices would rise after a discount campaign ended.